ever before.
Wow. Wow. All right. That's very important, you know. So the answers are not far away from your own hands and fingers, kind of like the old days where it said, let your fingers do the walking.
Well, you know, as an example, let's take what you and I do. We're authors. How do we get more audience for our radio show? How do we get more audience for people that want to buy our book? I guarantee you that some of your audience has that very same question. And so if you type into Google, how do you drive traffic to a website, it'll come up with 1,000 answers.
Wow. Wow. It sounds awfully simple, but I like that.
Well, you know, a lot of times, a lot of people, you know, I used to speak. I've had the good fortune, I'm 57 today, and because I was successful at a very young age in life, I've had the great opportunity to speak to a lot of audiences over the years. And, you know, one of the things that really, it was a surprise to me that a lot of people would ask me, you know, what is it? What magic do you have that allows you to be so successful when you're this young, when other people are, you know, much older, much more experienced, and they haven't seen the same level of success that you have? And you know, earlier on in life, because I wasn't as life skilled as I am today, I would say to people, you know, I don't have any magic. I just go out and I just do it. I'm so driven, I go do it. And one of the things that really became such an important answer to that question as I learned more life skills is I did have magic. But you know what that magic was? The magic was that I had discipline and I was willing to say, I don't know everything, but I'm willing to ask other people, and I'm willing to read and study and learn till the wee hours of the morning to make sure that I do have the skills. And that is the magic, is the discipline and the willingness to do whatever it takes to go where you want to go.
I love that. Fantastic. Yes, exactly. All right, and looking at your statement, I'm looking at we submitted today for this for our discussion. Having a self-image and high self-esteem will springboard you to enormous success and empower you to greatness. And so, talk about that a little bit. And looking at how that actually equates to you being great in your area.
Well, you know, as you and I have talked about, at the age of 1, I was starting to run out toward the road, and my older sister came running after me, and she tripped on the sidewalk, and she fell and literally landed on the back of my head and crushed my face into the cement. And so, being on welfare, you know, we didn't have the money to get my face fixed. And when you're 1 year of age, your bone is much softer. So when an 11-year-old girl lands on a 1-year-old child, my face literally crushed into the cement, and I've literally had 3 surgeries on my face now as I got a little bit older in order to correct that.
Wow.
Having that situation really devastated my self-esteem. And so, you know, naturally, as we've certainly heard of big stories on the bullying that's going on in schools today. And, you know, 50 years ago when I was growing up and I had that crushed face and I had a flat nose and you know, my face was disfigured. I got a lot of kids were not very kind. They did a lot of joking with me about, you know, how my face, what did I do, run into a wall, or was I following somebody too closely? And and they didn't care for it, so they, smacked me in the face. Is that why you have a flat face? I've heard it all. But I said to myself, and I believe that this is, everybody says to me that this is such a simplistic way to start, but I promise you, if you do this one thing, you'll notice the difference within 30 days. You have to learn to talk to yourself in a positive manner. You have to look yourself in the mirror every day and say, I like myself. I love my life. I'm excited. I'm happy. I'm healthy. And I add brightness to the life of everyone that I meet. And if you look yourself in the face in that mirror and you say, I like myself, I'm excited, I'm awesome, you will literally start to drive that thought into your mind.
Oh, yes, I see that. Absolutely. And tell me, how many years did you go from the age of 1 to actually start having corrective surgery?
I was 17 years old when I had my first surgery.
Oh, my God. So you went through all childhood and almost all adolescence with the disformed face.
That's correct.
Oh, my. Oh, boy. I see. How were your grades in school during that time?
Well, not real well. Unfortunately, I probably had a little bit of an anger issue as I was younger. So I also, I probably got into trouble too many times when people would joke with me about my face, and I'd get mad, and I'd want to beat the daylights out of them for giving me that, discouraging word, so to speak, about my face. So naturally that got me into trouble more often, and that certainly didn't help anything either. So, because my dad had left home for many years at a time, I didn't have a lot of direction. I was the youngest of 7. My mother had to work quite a bit in order to, try to feed us and put clothes on us and things of that nature. So, she wasn't around as much as she would have liked to have been. So, you don't always do the best when you don't have that good, parenting direction there every day.
And during that time when you were a child and even most adolescents, did you have any mentors or any special teachers, anybody positive that you could look up to that helped you along the way?
Well, when my mother was around, and certainly she was there every day. So when she was there, one thing that I always remember her saying was, don't ever let anybody bring you down to their level. You can do anything in life you want if you're willing to work hard enough to get it. So I want you to believe in yourself, and no matter, even with the issue of your face, you still can do anything you decide you want to do if you're willing to work hard enough to get there. So that was an early point of my life that I did get some good positive input.
Now tell me, at what age did you hear that message? I would say as early back as I can remember. A number of my aunts and uncles would tell me that before I can remember, they would say that I would walk around the house and I would say very proudly, I don't care how hard I have to work, but I'm going to be rich when I grow up. Wow.
Being rich isn't everything. Being rich with money isn't everything. Being rich with life is everything. And so, of course, naturally at that age of life, I was equating being rich with money because we were on welfare. We didn't have a lot. I'm the youngest of 7. so, that was my focus at that time,